All right, everyone. Is everyone ready to go? Okay, joining us on the dais right now is Marshall head coach Charles Huff. We also have defensive lineman Owen Porter. Offensive lineman Alex Mollette should be joining us momentarily, and running back Rasheen Ali. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions for the players.
All right, let's wait for my guy here.
Yep,
Come on up,
no
brother.
problem. At the end of head coach's opening statement, we'll open it up to player questions, and then we'll turn it back over to Coach after we dismiss the players. So, Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, that would be great.
Obviously, hats off to a really good Raging Cajun football team. That's a championship football team. I think we got a chance to see, they've won the championship a couple years in a row. They have some championship DNA. It's been a while since Marshall has been able to win a championship. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm proud of the way the guys played. I'm proud of the way they fought. There's just some things culture-wise when you win championships that you know how to do at the right moments, at the right time, that we're still learning. I don't question the guys' effort. Obviously we can look at the film and there's, a couple different plays we can make here or there. That's execution. But there's ebbs and flows in championship level games that championship programs know how to, battle through. And that's what we're learning. I don't have a switch. Trust me, the guys in the locker room, the players want to win really, really bad. Trust me, I don't question that by any means. But we played a championship program tonight, and as we transition forward, we'll be able to learn from this. I challenge the guys in the locker room not to be angry, not to be disappointed, but to be driven. There are some guys who are going to move on from college football, so they should be driven to maximize their opportunities from here on out, whether that's NFL, whether that's being a better husband, better father. Be driven. When you're driven, you can learn. When you're angry or upset, you don't learn. So I challenge them to be driven, right? I challenge the guys coming back to be driven, to be better, to close the gap widened. Obviously moving into a new conference, whenever that happens, the gap widened. We made some strides this year, didn't get close enough, but I am not by any means deterred from our process. I'm not disappointed in one player. I'm not disappointed in anything. Marshall is getting better. Maybe not as fast as everybody would like it, including myself, but we're getting better. Did some really good things, got to continue to build on it. Hats off again. Congratulations to Coach D and his first win. With that, we'll open up with questions.
Questions for the players, please.
Rasheen, can you talk a little bit about your success running the ball and how you guys were able to generate that the entire game?
At the beginning of all week we was preparing. Patience was a big key, and trusting the O-line and the block and knowing what's going on, knowing what the O-linemen, who they going to, and just being patient and trusting it. So that was the game plan going in, just being more patient than I ever been, and it worked out.
Alex, for you, I know that you're assessing the defense up front during plays. What did you see Louisiana do differently in the second half that really did you all down?
I just think we weren't executing enough. I don't think they did a lot of anything really different. I just think they started to execute and we stopped executing. And, that's our bad. We had too many self-inflicted wounds and kind of did it to ourselves.
Can you talk a little bit about your performance? I think as good as any of us have seen you play out there. What motivated you, and talk a little bit about how you play?
I just want to win for the 6 years. I don't really care about the stats. I don't really care who makes the play. I just want to win the game.
One of the turning points, and this will be for any of the three that want to comment, it seemed like a turning point in this game is when Willie got hit. At that point, you all had momentum, and it seemed like Louisiana sort of fed off that. And where did you see the game go at that point?
Championship teams don't lose their cool. It's part of being a champion. You ask Kobe Bryant if he ever got fouled really, really hard. He went to the line and made 2 free throws. We're still learning to do that. Obviously, it's an emotional game, and that's their player that got hit really hard. But championship teams don't lose their cool. Championship teams lock in, and we've got some. We just don't have enough, and that's not a knock on any player. We're just learning how to win. No player on this team has won a championship in college. That doesn't mean these guys aren't champions. Let me make sure that they understand that. But championship teams lock in, and that's the difference, and that's what we're learning. And we can use those examples to learn from. A championship team makes the big plays, when you got an opportunity to make the big play. And I think we saw the difference. Are we close? Yeah. Are you guys tired of hearing that? Yeah. But it's my job to make sure I'm measuring the progress and not the result. Because we could be doing a lot of things and not be disciplined and not be doing the things we need to do to sustain success, but we're getting close. But that's the difference. That happens. Championship teams lock in. Kobe Bryant tears his Achilles, goes to the line, hits 2 free throws. Think he was hurt? Probably so.
Any additional questions for the student athletes?
Alex, obviously, occasions were out without Taylor and Humphrey, one of their starters, their big guys across the defensive line. Did you guys, kind of, when you found out that news, did you prepare for that, especially there in the first half when you guys were able to attack the interior defense?
No. I think we prepared the same way all week. Like he said, championship teams, one player's not going to change anything. 2 players ain't going to change nothing. So I think him being out, it was what it was. They got good 2-3 deep, The guys that were playing in place of him were just as good. So I think we were just putting it together in the first half. And Coach Huff said it, that you guys might get tired of hearing that we're close, but I don't think some people realize how close we actually are. Obviously my time's done at Marshall, but anybody that wants to jump off the wagon now, say it's same old Marshall, say all this BS about this and that. Go ahead. We're happier without y'all. I have faith as now an alumni that my guys are going to win a championship, and they're going to do it one way or another, and they've got people in place leading them, figuring out how they're going to do it. And like I said, you want to jump off the wagon, go ahead, but we will be back. And I'm forever a part of this program. So,
Anything else for the student athletes? Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll open it up to further questions for Coach Huff.
Love you guys. Yeah, I thought we did some really good things in the first half. We're down some bodies, especially up front. That's not an excuse. That's just where we are. I thought they did some really good things in the first half. But again, championship teams know how to finish, right? There's probably a handful of plays that, we got them on 3rd down and long, and they make some big plays over the middle. Championship teams make those plays. You probably think back, there's been some games where we got burnt over the middle and the guy dropped the ball and everybody cheered for Marshall. Well, that's the difference between the championship teams and the teams that are getting better. So I think, did we get tired? I don't think we got tired. I just think at some point championship teams learn how to finish and learn how to execute. They didn't do anything drastically different, from first half to second half. You don't have to when you're a championship team. You just keep executing the game plan. And I think we probably missed 1 or 2 opportunities on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I had faith in the guys. That's why we kept, punting and trying to use our timeouts. But again, when you're at that level, you know how to finish. And I think that's what happened. Yeah, we tried to get it out of his hand quick. They had some length at the D-line position, and we felt like if we could get it out of his hand quick, They were playing some bracket coverage early. They switched to, kind of some cover 4 stuff, kind of keeping it in front. So we felt like if we could catch and, break a tackle or catch and get, some efficient plays, we could kind of get rolling. So I think it was a combination of game plan. I don't think it was, Grant deciding to, do anything different.
Any other questions for Coach Huff?
As we look into the offseason, what do you feel like is going to be the biggest step for this team? Is it more a mental thing? Guys developing physically? What do you think?
Oh, we got a lot. Well, first it starts with recruiting, right? Because now you're talking about, how many, up front guys do we have standing on the sideline in their, warm-ups, right? So you're recruiting to create some depth. Depth's going to create competition. Competition is going to create a environment where you got to come compete every single day. That environment will translate into the game because competing becomes something that you learn how to do. Our leadership has got to continue to grow because there's going to be a bunch of time when coaches aren't around to say go right, go left. So our leadership's got to continue to grow. Obviously, we got to, we're moving into another conference. We got to match the resources, right? We got to get these guys the help that they need. I believe our administration is committed to doing that. Obviously, development, right? We're talking about a process that these guys picked up January 15th and kind of started running with. Now they understand, each phase of the process. They understand each phase of the, the program. Now we got to get these guys to take the next step. Well, what's the next step? We got to get our older guys bigger, faster, stronger. We got to make sure that we have enough depth behind our older guys so we can continue to develop. And then we got to make sure that from a leadership standpoint that we're building the right culture so that when a guy gets hit, we're not, running out on the field, we're more or less locked in. When it gets down to it and Coach Huff says, hey, we're going to punt, we're going to trust the defense that we can come up with a stop. Some of those big plays over the middle that we make, So those are the things. How long does that take? I wish I could tell you guys. And I know everybody at home wants it to happen fast, don't want it to happen any faster than me. But I think if you really look at where we came from, I think we made some tremendous strides. There's a handful of games, Coach Huff, you could have won this when you should have did this, yeah. But the learning that we had this year is going to help us moving forward.
Coach, could you talk about the difficulties in defending somebody like Levi Lewis?
Yeah, I think, again, you guys won a championship, was it 2, 3, as a quarterback here? I don't know exactly, but I know he won 1 this year for sure, probably last year. Again, he doesn't get rattled. He creates plays with his feet. He's able, we got to him today a bunch. Didn't get rattled. Championship DNA, was able to pull the ball, make some really good plays, made some really good reads, made some big-time throws over the middle that probably kept him in the game. He's a champion, and you could see it in his demeanor. He didn't get frustrated. He didn't get upset when he got sacked. When they had the punt, he came back out. That's what he did a really good job of. Hats off to him. He's had a heck of a career as a college football player.
Anything else for Coach Huff? Coach, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate the RNL Carrier staff and committee for having us. Appreciate all of Herd Nation that made the trip down. Appreciate the players. Appreciate the city of New Orleans. Hats off to Coach D and his staff again for an unbelievable game. Thank you.